Did you find your desk? Yeah.
I found it.
Okay,
Yeah. It's not too bad.
all right.
Most people knew I was gone.
Okay, so that helps.
But tomorrow I'll probably get hit.
Probably will, yeah. You'll approve the
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Thursday, September 18th, Boone County Board meeting to order at 6:35 PM. Apologize for the delay. We had a little bit of a discussion we had to get taken care of. We will rise for the pledge and remain standing for an invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening as a people and a nation that's in mourning. Not necessarily mourning for one individual, but for families and individuals in our country that doesn't seem to have a voice that's willing to discuss matters. Instead, we tend to turn to violence and violent acts and hate. We ask that you guide us, guide our souls, our hearts, our minds. Give us the strength to have a debate the way it's intended, the way our founding fathers intended it. Even if that debate gets heated, help us to all remember that we're one people under you. We ask that you be with our servicemen and women around this country and around the world who protect our freedoms. Be with them and their families. Give them strength as they do their work. Be with our first responders. And be with all of us as we make decisions for our community. In your name we pray. Amen. Roll call, please.
Right. Carl Johnson,
Here.
Josh Shoemaker,
Here.
David Cordray,
Here.
Brian Schneider,
Here.
David Wiltsey,
Here.
Ryan Curry,
Here.
Alyssa Patterson,
Here.
Tom Wahlberg.
Here.
Oh, okay. Rodney Riley,
Here.
Matt Regano, Dana Logston.
Here.
Marion Thornberry.
Here. I would ask for a motion from the board to allow the following members to join electronically. Ryan Curry, Tom Wahlberg, Alyssa Patterson, and Dana Logston.
Make it.
Pushed by Mr. Thornberry, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Motion by Mr. Wiltsey, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We don't have any appointments, so on to public comments. As a reminder on public comment, I'd ask that you please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record for us, please. First up, I have Linda Vanderwhite.
White.
White, okay.
White.
Vander White, okay. White, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, my name is Linda Vanderwhite. I live 500 Knoll Road, right by the Boone County line, right behind the disgusting looking mini putt where I've tried to call many people to take care of what it looks like. I'm basically here about the solar field, but I just want to say a couple comments. I've lived in my home for 44 years. When I first moved in there, beautiful, peaceful neighborhood, farmland all around. And I know progress has to be made, but when we first moved in, we had people talking about Sunstrand Park. And we were fighting that for 2 years. Many comments. We didn't want big, huge park across the street. We were successful with that. Another thing on our road, it's posted for trucks that are a certain limit. It's been like that for 2 years. You can check. We've called the police. We've called everyone about transportation, about this area where the trucks fly down Shaw Road and they're huge, huge semis, which we don't know who to call, but that's been addressed and nothing has happened with that. And I'm just hearing about the solar fields that are going in right now, which I'm not 100% sure about, but I hear a lot of negative things about it. And what's happening in our area is just, it's really sad. That whole development is totally, totally changed. And I do think if the solar fields come in and the traffic is going to be outrageous. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, I have Shannon Gibbons.
Shannon Gibbons, 205 Willow Drive, Belvedere. Also, it's in reference to the solar facility. While we understand that the development of a solar facility adjacent to our property may be moving forward, we want to clearly express our opposition to it. More importantly, we strongly oppose any proposal that would allow public access to our neighborhood as part of this project. We respectfully urge the committee to vote no on this aspect of the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, I have Mary. I'm sorry, Mary. Yovev?
Yes. I'm gonna go first, speaks first.
Okay. And you are Libby?
I'm Libby.
Okay. So I have Libby Radikowski.
Libby Radikowski. My name is Libby Radikowski. I live in Beaverview subdivision right by Swan Hills Golf Course. I'd like to bring it up to the board's attention that on August 30th, across the street from us, my husband and I, in a residential area, subdivision, by the way, a man was shot while sitting by a pool surrounded by several children at a birthday party. Also, for several hours that day, we heard several gunshots, but were unaware where exactly they were coming from. It was very alarming as my husband and I were both outside. We do know that the sheriff investigated a shooting range in the lower subdivision, also a residential, and that some of the guns were confiscated. We want you to be aware of this and hopefully help so it doesn't happen again. Look, we have a wonderful neighborhood with good people, lots of children, grandchildren, and we want it to be safe. I have 14 grandchildren. I want them to be safe when they come and visit me. And to be clear, I need them to come and visit me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for changing that. My name is Mary Yo.
Use the microphone, please, just so we can record it.
You can bend it to wherever you need to.
Okay, short. My name is Mary Yovev, and I live at 2951 Hillcrest Road, Belvedere, Illinois. It's in Beaverview subdivision. We've lived there for 49 years, and it's been a safe place. When we moved in, the reason what I'm going to talk about is what happened to me that day. I didn't get shot or anything, but it makes a difference. We had no trees. Now from my house, I can see nothing beyond my yard in any direction. And yet they discovered that this bullet came from Beaver Creek subdivision, which is through two woods, the pond that's down there that I'm sure most of you know what's on Beloit Road there, over the creek, and they were shooting from the side of the creek. So without even being able to see where they were shooting, this bullet, for some reason, got all the way up past my house, across the street, past that house, and shot somebody who was sitting at the pool in the backyard. Now, the reason I'm talking about myself is that at that time, it was hot out. And on Saturdays, and it was a long weekend, I took a break. So I went upstairs to play solitaire. At my desk, which looks out over that same area that the bullet came from. And I heard gunshots along. Libby said a few. It was at least a half hour they were shooting down there. And at the end, it was boom, 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 boom. And I thought, oh, they've got some sort of an automatic thing. That worried me. But I thought, I'm up here.
I need you to use the microphone.
I said, I don't.
And turn it towards you. There you go. Sorry.
In the meantime, I heard sirens and I thought, and we always hear them coming up Beloit Road, Caledonia Road, 73. And I thought, oh, I hope it's not an accident. I always say, hopefully nobody's hurt. But I didn't realize they were stopping at my neighbor's because that person had to be taken to the hospital. And there were sheriff's patrols out there. And I didn't know that then. I thought, I wonder what they're doing there. When I found out, I realized, and then we found out the trajectory of the bullet and it went right across the neighbor's house next to me through their pond. If that person who pulled that trigger had moved it, because that's a long way to go, if any of you know how far it is from Beaver Creek to Beaver View. And if he was shooting and he moved his hand that far, it would have come in my window. Because that was the trajectory. It would have gone a different way. Instead of going this way, it would have gone that way. And that scared me. I thought I was sitting there playing solitaire and I could have been hit by a bullet. So what I'm asking you is to please, I looked at the statutes in your information online, and I know there are rules, but I'm asking you, please look at that. When we built, there were no other houses out there. It was a very rural place. We lived there 49 years. Now there are suburbs, all subdivisions everywhere. So I'm asking you, please take a look at it and say, what could we do to make it safer? So grandkids, friends, I have an above ground pool. If people would have been there, it could have hit them because it's on a hill. So that house across the street is it's higher than we are. So it could have hit me out if I was out at the pool too. The other thing I wanted to say is if you need to get together some sort of a group that maybe as a community, people could voice their opinions and maybe have some sort of a, team working on it. I'm volunteering. I'd be glad to serve on it, some sort of a group that would kind of put together different ideas so we represent other people and their opinions. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Last up, I have David Wiltsey.
Hi, I'm David Wiltsey. I live at 1709 Candlewick Drive in Poplar Grove. Members of the board, members of the audience, and my fellow Americans. A couple of meetings ago, we passed a resolution recognizing the signing of the U.S. Constitution on September 17th, 1779. The anniversary was yesterday. We were given a small bell for ringing and a copy of the U.S. Constitution. Yesterday in my home, in my tricorner hat that I bought at Conoroga gift store, I sat there and rang a big school bell about 45 minutes to celebrate because there was a Bells Across America event yesterday for the Constitution. And that leads me to my next subject. Given to us a couple of weeks ago was a copy of the Constitution and a small bell that we could all ring. Put up by Turning Point. Charlie Kirk's name and message inside. What an irony. I'm old enough to remember when John F. Kennedy was killed, and Martin Luther King, and now Charlie Kirk. King was killed because he had an idea and spoke words. Charlie Kirk was killed for the same reason. History should not be decided by a bullet. What would it have been like if John F. Kennedy had survived, or Martin Luther King, or Charlie Kirk? Kirk was asked before his death how he wanted to be remembered. His answer was his faith, and an acknowledgement of Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. Kurt was assassinated because of his beliefs and his willingness to go to colleges and talk about issues. We need open dialogue as needed on issues facing America. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Should I now be expected to be assassinated? If I speak my mind, is that the same thing in public? I have a photo here of 12 political acts of violence since January of 2011, when Representative Gabby Giffords was shot, all the way through the assassination attempts on Trump, and now in Brett Kavanaugh's house, they got a guy who had a knife and he was armed and he was going in there to get him, and now Charlie Kirk. This is so wrong. Trump won the last election, Electoral College, and the popular vote. Plus the House and Senate went to the Republicans. He's doing what he said he would do. There needs to be a real discussion focused on solutions to issues and problems in America, not sniping at each other from ideological corners. The issues must be addressed and the direction to proceed must be decided at the ballot box, not the ammunition box. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Okay, seeing none. I'd ask for a motion to approve the general consent items.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, report from agencies. We got Council on Aging. That is Mr. Loxton, right?
That's Elisa.
Oh, that's Elisa. Lisa, do you have a report for us?
I do not.
Okay. Growth Dimensions. Do we have Pam?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you. Good evening. I wanted to share a few things. One to start with, we were thrilled of the turnout for our 2025 annual reception last month. We did share that we had our 2025 impact has been $2.5 million square foot that has been added or occupied in our region. Over 3,600 new jobs have been created and $4 billion invested. Some of those that contributed to this year and more recent highlights have been like Champion Packaging. They have bought the Belvedere building. In fact, they closed just last month. They plan to work with a separate company on their investment, making significant improvements, connecting to the rail, and also adding 50 new jobs and a $2.5 million investment. We also have been working with Hall Miller Engineering, who expanded their operations from Elgin. And then they have a second location now in Belvedere at 720 Logistics Avenue. And again, with those two locations, they've had 65 new jobs that were added and $10 million into the local economy. We are working with some new projects, one being a multinational pharmaceutical company that had we did a site visit with them a couple weeks ago, and they are looking for almost nearly 100 acres in the Belvedere area. This will bring 300 to 700 new jobs into the area and a $1 billion investment. And next week, I also have a site visit with a potential data company that is looking at 100 acres for a future data center. We are working with a local food processing company that is looking to expand their operations and potentially compete for a new project into the area. So we're looking forward to, a lot of new prospects and opportunities, as well as Project Hawkeye, which I've shared in the past for an advanced development opportunity. They're moving forward also with their project. We can't share any more regarding that, but we hope that we'll be able to soon. One of the other companies that had moved from their home-based company into they broke ground end of August. And thank you for everyone who attended that. They're able to, they're going to be building a 5,000 square foot facility, and their investment is about 700,000. This is hard decks. And we're working with them on a grant that they applied for, and we're hoping to hear something in early October. And one of the other things I want to share with you is that we are having DCEO here tomorrow at the Growth Dimensions. They'll be, as part of Hispanic Heritage Month, they're going to be holding one-on-one appointments with businesses. These are confidential appointments in the Growth Dimensions office. And we're looking forward to helping connect these businesses with resources that will help further their opportunities and growth in Boone County. Other than that, we're increasing or revamping our website, make it more valuable. We're getting a lot of visits to our website, but we want to make sure that this contributes to being able to attract new companies, as well as helping the companies here, providing them with the data and resources that they need. So I'm available for any questions if there are.
Questions for Growth Dimensions?
I have a comment, Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Curry.
I just want to say thank you, Pam, because I feel like you have a ton of projects in the works at all times. You're good about keeping confidentiality so that these companies trust us as a county. Though I want to know more information, and I think I called you this week to try to hound you for some intel, you're sworn to secrecy, and clearly I don't have the security clearance to get that info, but we appreciate you and everything you do for the county. So I hope you know that.
Thank you very much.
Further questions, Mr. Riley?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just have,
Get your hand up, sir. Sorry. All right. Anyone else? I don't see anything else. Thank you, Pam. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You too.
CASA, Mr. Curry, do you have anything for us?
I do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. We currently have 66 children in our system, with 3 new advocates being sworn in within the next few weeks. We have training sessions for advocates in January, possibly early February. So if that's something that your heart guides you to, we have a lot of children that could use our help. It's a great organization. We have Cars for CASA registration opening. Cars for CASA registration is open right now for cars and or the craft show. It's $15 for cars until the day of, and then it goes up to $20, $10 for a craft show spot. That's October 4th at the RVC ATC from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. The Sizz & Fizz food truck will be there. There's 50-50 raffle tickets on sale, with the winner being picked at the car show. It's $5 for 6 tickets. I think that's it for now.
All right. Thank you very much. Region 1, we had a meeting and I left my notes at my desk at my house, so I don't remember what we talked about. Maybe Isaac, when he comes up, can fill us in a little more. That was several days ago, and I've traveled too far since then. So, new business. I'd ask for a motion to approve Resolution 25-26, approving participation in the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, or CEDS, Illinois Region 2026 to 2030.
so moved.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Thornberry. And we have Isaac here from R1 to enlighten us.
Thank you, Chairman Johnson. My name is Isaac Guerrero. I'm the Director of Economic Development at Region 1 Planning Council. Before you tonight is just a resolution of endorsement support for R1's comprehensive economic development strategy. So not sure how long all of you have been with the county board, but Boone County has been a member of Region 1 Planning Council's Economic Development District for, I think, well over a decade now. I think this is the 4th CEDS process. I've been with R1 for 5 years, and this is my 2nd CEDS. So I know Boone County's partnership with R1 has preceded that by a number of years. Really quickly, before I go into the presentation on this, I will say, I think normally also my director from time to time, Michael Dunn, comes here for just a report, but Region 1 is having an open house next Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. And I believe everyone here has gotten an invitation, but just a reminder that you're all invited to our downtown Rockford office to learn more about the projects we have going on, of which the SEDS is one. So there we go.
That'll work.
Okay.
I can just flip it
Okay.
if that works. Yeah.
Perfect.
This one?
Yeah, so the SEDS is sort of like a 5-year economic development roadmap. And it's really, you can think of it, its main purpose is really as a funding instrument, right? So I mentioned that Boone County is part of the Region 1 Planning Council Economic Development District. That includes all of Winnebago County, all of Boone County, and all of McHenry County. And so the federal government likes to funnel funds for infrastructure and other projects to regions, because a lot of this infrastructure is multi-jurisdictional. It crosses city lines, village lines, county lines, things like that. And so the SEDS, really what it is it's one plan that has all of our regional infrastructure priorities kind of highlighted in it. And having this plan, we're required to have it in order to unlock federal grants. The Commerce Department, there's an arm of the Commerce Department, the Economic Development Administration, and they're the ones that give grants for road, water, sewer, all that infrastructure we need to help economic development organizations like Growth Dimensions do what they do and market Boone County to the rest of the world, right, to get that job creation and private investment. So when you look at the SEDS, and I think all of you have a link to it online, it's a big plan. First couple chapters are kind of like setting the table, a lot of demographic information about the 3-county region, population, jobs, GDP, that sort of thing, sort of lays out just sort of the state of the region presently. Moving on, chapter 3, several Boone County staffers, Becky, Jessica, others were part of a SWOT analysis that we did, more than a year ago now. But we really went through this whole exercise to understand as a 3-county region, what are our strong points? What are our weaknesses? What opportunities can we capitalize, and what sort of threats do we have to think about mitigating the next 5 years under this SEDS? So chapter 4 and then the chapter 5 is really kind of, as you look at the SEDS, what you kind of want to focus on. So what is this plan all about? Chapter 4 kind of lays that out. High-level goals, more specific strategies under each of the 5 goals, and then really specific action items under each of those strategies. The most important goal is all about having sound infrastructure. And so that's why goal number 1 is all about having that sound infrastructure. I won't read through all of these different goals. You can read them for yourself, but there's a lot of really good projects kind of baked into this chapter about business formations, workforce development, and so forth. And then this next slide here just kind of reiterates what I just said and why all those goals and strategies are important. Chapter 5 is new. So if you're familiar with the existing SEDS, which sort of terminates at the end of this year, this chapter 5 is something we haven't done before, but we've been a little more intentional about baking in those specific infrastructure projects and listing them. So every year from now on, R1 is going to do a call for projects, and Boone County and all of your municipalities and local governments in Boone County can submit your top infrastructure projects to us, and we will rank them according to a number of different metrics. Does this help create jobs or economic development? Does it improve traffic safety, et cetera, et cetera? And any project that you give to us will be in here, and the ones that rank the highest will kind of get highlighted, but every project will be listed in here. And so this kind of gives us sort of like a to-do list at R1, right? So as we go after grants for these infrastructure projects, we know what to focus on because you're telling us what's most important. This was something we did on a smaller scale last year, and we were able to get, I think, upwards of $3 million for some engineering in the city of Belvedere for that Appleton Road grade crossing. It's a good process, and we've already started to see results. And this has a lot more ambition and heft. So I look forward to working with your staff and all of you to win lots of grants and build lots of infrastructure to create jobs and private investment in Boone County. And with that, I'll take any question. This last slide here just sort of lays out the timeline. So we're getting county board resolutions of approval or support from Winnebago and McHenry as well, and then federal approval by the end of the year. But our staff is already working on grants and such to implement the sets. That work's already underway.
Questions for R1? Mr. Wahlberg.
Thank you, Chairman. Isaac, what are you hearing from our neighboring counties? What's their, with your proposal here with this project? I know you've got everybody in account and the board members on board with what you're doing.
Yeah, we were at McHenry County Board a couple nights ago, just presenting. They're going to vote on this, I think, next month. Winnebago County's already adopted a resolution of support. But there's a number of infrastructure projects that we're already talking to McHenry and Winnebago County about. And City of Belvedere has already started some conversations with us. Boone County has a couple of projects baked into this set. And we're going to be opening up the window for a new call for projects in the next 60 days. So we'll have a fresh slate of projects that you can supply to us and start working on grants as those opportunities arise.
Go ahead, Mr. Wahlberg.
Chairman or Ms. Tobin, is it expectation I see we're actually one of the on this tonight?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Riley.
Just real quick, while we can't say enough about our local economic, this is really not a question, Isaac. I just wanted to point out a couple things here. While we do rely on our local economic development, in the time that I worked with R1 very closely, opened my eyes a lot as to the work that you guys do, the contacts that you guys provide us, the resources are just immeasurable in my opinion. So I fully support this. I support the work that R1 does. As you can see, it's a long list of other counties, municipalities, communities that rely on, the work that you guys do. And I just want to point out that I, again, support your position and the work that you guys do 100%. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Anything further for R1? Seeing none. Thank you very much, Isaac. Any further discussion from the board on this one? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve change order number 2 from Scandrolli, the Logan Avenue project. Motion by Mr. Cordray, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Discussion. Randy, do you want to give us an update?
Clayton?
Oh, no, not you again.
Thank you, Chairman. Hello, everyone. Randy Darnell for CCS. Is Clayton Halderman from Kluber Architects on the call? He is not. Okay. This change order has no cost associated with it. It's just an extension of time. During the value engineering process where we netted over $200,000, there was time expended in that area. All we're doing is adding it to the end of the project for Scandrolli construction. So there's no additional cost involved. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Mr. Wahlberg.
Sorry, Randy. So the original time was
320 days. That time has been added to the end of the project with a completion date now of November 3rd.
An increase of 78 days, is that what?
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Okay.
But
Becky?
I think this was a worst case scenario too. Our superintendent of this project in the courthouse kind of is our Debbie Downer is, it's gonna be snowing by the middle of November, that type of thing. So we're hoping if there's a mild winter that this could change, right, Randy?
Exactly. I think this is a very conservative date. And if the weather permits construction through the winter, the exterior will continue. Obviously, the winter will not affect any of the interior work.
All right, any other questions or comments? Since there's no money expended, we can do a voice vote. That's contractual. Darn it. All right, roll call, please.
Okay, thanks. Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Cordray,
Yes.
Brian Schneider,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry, Alyssa Patterson. Aye. Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Dana Logston,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Ryan Curry.
You drop.
He dropped.
He dropped. Okay, thank you.
Motion carries. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve resolution 25-30, sale of surplus property 03-26-302-012. Motion by Mr. Wiltsey, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
David Cordray,
Aye.
Brian Schneider,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry.
He dropped.
Still, yeah, okay. Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Dana Logston.
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Aaron, just let us know if Ryan gets back on.
Will do.
Okay, thank you. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve resolution 25-31, sale of surplus property 03-27-127-004. Motion by Mr. Wiltsey, seconded by Mr. Shoemaker. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Brian Schneider,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Dana Logston.
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Cordray.
Yes.
Motion passes. I'd ask for a motion to approve resolution 25-32, sale of surplus property 07-07-100-002. Motion by Mr. Schneider, seconded by Mr. Wahlberg. Discussion. Roll call, please.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Dana Logston.
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Cordray,
Yes.
Brian Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Since Mr. Curry is not here, I will do administration for him. I'd ask for a motion to approve ordinance 25-16 MA-11-2025 93XX Beaver Valley Road, A1 to A2. Motion by Mr. Wiltie, seconded by Mr. Shoemaker. Staff report.
Not sure if this is working. I can speak loud if that's okay.
Dana's.
I'm gonna just pull Dana's over.
Either way, this property is requesting the zoning change from A1 to A2. And the applicant is here for any questions. The Regional Planning Commission recommended approval in favor of the application as well as the Zoning Board of Appeals with a vote of 5-0 in favor.
Questions of staff on this one? The applicant's here. Would you like to make a statement or anything? Okay. Is there any questions for the applicant from the board? Okay, seeing none. Any other discussion for the board? Comments, questions, queries? Mr. Wiltie.
Again, reviewing the memo here, all the finding of facts seem to parallel what we require and or what is appropriate for that area. And that is why I'm going to be voting in favor of this map.
Thank you, Mr. Wiltie. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Melissa Patterson?
Yes.
Tom Walberg?
Aye.
Rodney Riley?
Aye.
Dana Logston?
Aye.
Barry Thornberry?
Yes.
Carl Johnson?
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker?
Yes.
David Cordray?
Yes.
Brian Schneider?
Yes.
David Wiltsey?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve ordinance 25-17, SUP 08-2025, 1XX US Route 20. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make that one.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg, second by Mr. Thornberry. Thank you. Staff report.
Yes, thanks. The application in front of you is again for the solar energy development facility, 1 megawatt or greater, located at 1XX US Route 20, which is on the south side of Route 20, adjacent Winnebago County. The applicant is proposing the 15 acres of solar site area on approximately 37 acres with a racking system less than max height of 20 feet and 3,555 modules on a single access tracker. The property is expected to develop subject to conditions of approval with a growth pattern that will support connectivity. According to the staff recommendations, actions by the Zoning Board of Appeals found that the proposal meets the requirements. After reviewing the findings of facts, they adopted findings of facts with the removal of condition number 1 and adoption of conditions with relationship to the proposed easement. Public hearing was had, several property owners were in objection of the case. The applicant gave a presentation and the property owner was given testimony. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval. There was opposition by the administrator of Village of Cherry Valley with regards to the project, as well as the growth dimensions submitted in opposition to the project. Additional discussions were made. And the conclusion was the zoning board of appeals found that the special use meets the requirements of the zoning subject to their findings as drafted by the ZBA, as well as the conditions as amended by the zoning board of appeals. Since then, the administration had heard this case and had recommended change in conditions, which are reflected in the ordinance that you have on board docs.
Okay.
The applicant and the property owner are here as well.
Okay. And this, just a quick question for you, Jessica.
Yep.
This resolution we have in front of it represents the changes that the board made to the ZBA recommendation, correct?
That is reflective of the conditions that were recommended at the county administration meeting, not the ZBA.
Yes, correct.
Right, yep.
Correct.
What's
Yeah, because the
reflective.
county admin committee changed things from what the ZBA had.
Correct. So 1 through 3 up on the overhead is reflective of that, yes.
Correct, correct, okay. And just to refresh board members' minds, there was a road that went north-south and a road that was on the southern side of the property that went to the west. The north-south road is a right-of-way. Granted, is what this board was talking about, along with the road that's on the south side that goes to the west, that would be a right-of-way, and not necessarily a road built right away. The only reason those would be built is if property developed further, kind of thing. So I'm going to give the applicant an opportunity to talk here first, I think. So the applicant wants to come up and bend our ear a little bit. Mr. Schneider, you'll probably have to loan him your microphone again. It won't be too much longer, I promise. You won't have to continually. If you could state your name and address for our record, please.
My name is Gabriel Ariza. My address is 1206 Tyrell Avenue in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Thank
you. Good evening, members of the full committee. I've prepared a statement here.
Sure.
Thank you for your time today, and thank you for those very heartfelt comments early in today's meeting. Appreciate that. I'd like to start by conveying a very special thanks to everyone who has spent time working on this application, especially the staff. I'd like to make sure Reactivate conveys to the board its interest in maintaining a solid partnership with the county authority, in addition to the community at large. And to that endeavor, Reactivate has called upon the support of Jim Hirsch, a well-respected local attorney, in our aim for a path forward that is supportive of your shared community best interests. With great respect, we ask the committee to consider relying on the ZBA's recommendations of the removal of the roadway construction requirement as a condition for the special use permit. And there are 5 main points that support that recommendation. First, the application meets the requirements provided by state statute in the county ordinance for the purposes of obtaining a special use permit for a solar farm. Both ZBA staff, ZBA and staff have acknowledged this, and I believe Jim will have more to discuss on that. Second, the land will continue to preserve its agricultural status as desired by the landowner, and will allow the proposed 16 acres of disturbed land used for solar to be reused for agriculture purposes upon decommissioning of the solar facility. Third, there will be no additional traffic impact on current local roads in the area. The solar facility will have its own private access point that will be removed upon decommissioning. The very limited traffic produced during construction would come from I-90 and about a 1 mile strip of US 20 west of Shaw, so not crossing Shaw at all. And Shaw would not be used. Fourth, the Boone County commercial development plan remains unaffected by the solar farm. The landowner has expressed the desire to keep the property in their family for multiple generations as agriculture. However, if the property were to be sold in the future, any commercial or real estate developer purchasing the property will be obliged to consider the Boone County Development Plan within its own road construction plans. And finally, the local community has conveyed in both the ZBA meeting, at the committee meeting, and today, that they would not be in favor of a public roadway for a number of reasons mentioned during those times. So it is our hope that you would consider these points to accept the ZBA's findings and withdraw the roadway requirements mentioned. And if there's any further clarification, I'd be happy to discuss it. Jen, if you have some comments.
Attorney Jim Hirsch. I also live in Beaverview subdivision for those very nice ladies that were here earlier and left. I also work for Geyer and Heineken over at Rockford, 2601 Reed Farm Road. It's no secret. The issue here is $500,000 or roads or both, right? So the first step, I think, in my analysis of this is it meets all the requirements of the state statute. It meets all the requirements of the zoning for ordinances here that have to be adopted. It can be no more restrictive than the statute. So I think there's already been a determination that that's been met. Then the question becomes, can you stick conditions that aren't in the statute onto these types of special uses? Of course, my legal analysis of that is, and it's certainly open to interpretation, we don't have any guidance on this. Let me start there. That's one of the hardest things we have right now is none of this has been up on appeal. So how is it that you can now require roads or a $500,000 escrow and not think that that is more restrictive than what is set forth in the statute? They have in the law a statutory interpretation that says the inclusion of some is to the exclusion of all others. My interpretation of this statute is they've put the conditions that have to be met on there. That's it. That excludes anything else. Again, open to interpretation. I'm just one lawyer. That's it. However, I do think that I'm right on that. The other thing is when you put a condition on this, it has to be somehow connected to the need to mitigate the special effects of a special use that is an allowed use here by statute and ordinance. That's why you have to make these applications, right? Is because what we want to do, we understand could be a little different than maybe what you want to do, and it might have some effect, but nothing extraordinary, but we should mitigate these damages or these effects if we can. That's why you have a special use application, okay? Here, you've got residents that live around here saying, we don't want any more through traffic right here. We don't want this. This use is certainly not going to increase road traffic. Once it's done, it's done. They might be out there monthly, weekly, maybe a truck a day. I don't know what their maintenance schedules are, but there's no increase in traffic. So what's the nexus between you got to have this road or you got to have $500,000 to be tied up from a company for 20 to 30 years while this project's going on? I don't believe there's enough of a nexus there to make that a qualified condition or a reasonable condition for passage. Obviously, if it's passed with that condition, we're going to do what we can. And they want to be good neighbors, but to tie up a business's $500,000 for that long that they can't use, it just doesn't seem to be reasonable. I don't think there's probably a business owner in here that would want to do that. And so that's where we're at. Again, we appreciate everybody's efforts and work. I patted them on the back because they got it past the ZBA. I wasn't involved in that. They have some in-house counsel that helped them with that. So I did get called in a little bit later. But I think when you look at why we have a special use and this condition is actually, according to the residents, exacerbating a special effect or a serious effect on the neighboring property rather than mitigating it. So that's where I'm coming from. You've all seen me before. You know what I do. And hopefully we don't have to go past this stage. That's not what anybody wants. Certainly, it's not what you want. Certainly, it's not what they want. But that is how we resolve disputes. So that's what it's for. The other thing in closing, Mr. Wiltsey hit a nerve. Can't help but remind everybody the Constitution was put in place to be a restriction on government. So keep that in mind when you're considering the landowner's personal property rights. Thank you.
Hirsch. I do want to, I feel like perhaps the applicant has a misunderstanding of what it is that we've talked about, what this body talked about at the last meeting. First and foremost, we did talk about a reduction in that $500,000 number that, and our county engineer was working on that number and getting us a better, more reasonable number. Part of that reason is because we talked about eliminating, can we get the slide up there that has the A, B, and C that shows the potential roads? Yeah. So road B and C would simply be a right of way is what we talked about. So no road built unless the rest of that northern property developed, and then a road would be built. But we also talked a little bit about that and if that really should be in effect on this project. And that was something this board was going to think about and discuss at this time. Secondly, and probably more importantly, road A is, I think, one of the biggest concerns that we have. And that is also a right of way. So a granted right of way in this project and money put forward to build that road should land to the west develop. Now, I understand that the landowner for the section in Boone County owns both properties, the property in Boone County and the property in Winnebago County. They've expressed a desire that we don't intend to develop this land in any way. It's going to stay grassland, prairie land, solar farm, whatever, for the next 1,000 years or forever. I believe they said forever. Well, I stated this before. 40 years is a long time. Forever is too long to try and picture. And I'm old enough to know that intentions are fantastic, but they don't always change. And even the landowner himself stated, I believe at the ZBA, that, this can be a solar farm for 40 years and then his kids can decide what to do with the property. Well, that leaves an open. There's an opening. There's always an opening there. And I understand that his children stood at ZBA and mentioned that we're never going to sell this land. And that may be true, and God bless you if you do, if you hold on to it forever. Absolutely, 100%. However, never's a long time. And you never know what's going to happen. 40 years ago, people would have never thought of putting solar panels on this property. And now today we're talking about doing it. So a lot changes in 40 years. It might be flying cars. But that road A is a right of way. And I think, I know the county engineer came up with a much lower number to be able to put money ahead. Much the same, since this is the developer of this project, property at this time. I think it's only proper that there be some money there to help pay for that road that would have to go in if that property to the west develops, because you have to connect those artillery roads. I understand that the people in the subdivision don't want roads through there. At some point, there may be a road through there. Not today. We're not intending that for today. And we made that really, really clear at the last meeting. This is a right of way. It designates that if a road needs to go in on this project because of development to the west, that's where that road would go. And that money that's put up by this developer would help pay for that. So that's the intent that this board has right now. Now, we haven't discussed any more of that or brought up any more of that, but that's where it was left at the last meeting. So I would just want to make clear that there's no construction of a road at this time. The only road going into that property that would be constructed at this time would be one you would construct to get to your project, and it would be your private road, not a public road in any shape or way. You'd probably have a gate on it, it'd be my guess, and it would not be accessible by the general public. So I want to make sure everybody's clear on that fact. There's been a lot of talk that the county's saying to build a road. We're not saying build a road. We're saying if this develops over here, then you need to build that road. You need to help in paying to build that road. So with that, I'm going to open this up to other board members for questions or comments. Mr. Wahlberg, you look anxious.
Oh, yes, thank you, Chairman. I just at this time, I want to call on you first, Mr. Crone, and I know they've had long conversations about this, but I think if our county engineer could come forward and kind of explain this, he had some meetings with, my understanding, Justin is with Cherry Valley in regards to what their future plans are, and I think it's important. And the reason I think this is important, because we listened to Isaac speak here earlier today, and we just adopted a resolution to, work in this comprehensive economic development strategy with our neighbors, which is obviously McHenry County, Fayette County to the west. So, Justin, let me, if you would share with us what you've learned in your meetings.
Sure. So Cherry Valley does have has laid out a lot of public funds to provide water service to the southern portion, up to the southern portion of this property. So, basically it'd be the southern point of right away A. So that water service line is 10 or 12 inch service line, ductile iron pipe encased inside a concrete pipe that is 12 feet deep. So that's a substantial undertaking for Cherry Valley to do that in anticipation of future water needs. So they, those public funds are invested in infrastructure out here. So that is important as well. I did want to bring up one other thing, if I may, related to Shaw Road. Shaw Road cannot be used as it's currently presented under the Public Act for access to this without a road use agreement. So there has not been any approach to the county nor to the township on using Shaw Road. So I just want to make sure that that was clear. That was, I think, a little or so. This development has not proposed, nor has it been accepted to use any form within Shaw Road. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear as well. But yeah, back to Mr. Wahlberg's question. There has been a significant public investment for water service up to the southern portion of point A there. And if you were to bring it in today's dollars, that would be well over $1 million worth of investment in the water service.
Okay, Mr.
So it would
Wahlberg.
be fair to say that with that type of investment, they plan to develop to the west of this property.
I think that's consistent with water use would be consistent with development. Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Wahlberg.
Well, in the event of this, I mean, I appreciate, Gabriel, your comments and sentiment and Mr. Hertz's. I would be in favor of amending this motion. And I'd like to propose an amendment to lower the amount from 500,000. I'd like to lower that down to 200,000. Okay. That would still give us enough money to build that in the event that did happen. And like Mr. Johnson said tonight, we have no intentions of building this road. But in the event that we have that happen and this area does develop to the west, I think it's only prudent to have good planning, and have good planning. And shame on us if we don't do that as a county board to have that foresight and to have this right of way as a condition in the event that this should develop. So that would be my motion, Chairman Johnson, to reduce that or amend that to down to 200,000.
How much? So that's a motion to amend
200,000
to 200,000. Is there a second on that? Second by Mr. Shoemaker. Discussion on that 200,000 on that amendment. I guess I would ask the question, Mr. Wahlberg, so they invest or they grant $200,000 to the county to put in a fund for this potential future road. What happens to that 200,000 in 30 years? They decommission this, or 40 years they decommission this. What happens to that?
Well, as you stated earlier, it's pretty hard to see the future, right? None of us
Sure.
have a crystal ball, and the likelihood of this developing a road most likely would happen before that if things continue the way they are to growing in that area, particularly with the new casino there and the plans that Winnebago County has, or Cherry Valley rather. So I know that the sentiment of the board, I felt like during administration 2 weeks ago that they would obviously want that money returned to the company. You know, I would assume that we would invest that money in some form to make sure that it wasn't a loss of those dollars. Yeah, I guess we could, I'm not sure exactly how we would state that to.
So you're suggesting that the money and the interest would return to the company?
I guess that's open for discussion. I guess I would like to hear more of what board members speak on that. I felt there was some that felt that sentiment 2 weeks ago, but I don't want to speak for the board.
Okay. Mr. Wiltsey.
I'm definitely in favor of reducing this if we're going to do it at all. And I'm definitely in favor that the interest accrued would be to the benefit of the company. I'm going to vote in favor of this motion, but I have some questions about the right-of-way connections at A and B that I will ask after we're past this point of this amendment.
Okay.
What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I didn't hear the last part of that, Mr.
I have questions about the connection down at A, cross connection from B to the subdivision, and another one if they're just right of ways. But the motion before us is with respect to the reduction, and I will vote for the reduction, but I have further follow-up questions when we get past this motion to amend.
Sure. Okay. Further discussion. Mr. Thornberry.
It's my understanding that A is only going to get built if the road coming from the west gets built.
Correct.
Road that the county wants to make a major road, it's been turned into simply a dirt or gravel road so that they can get in and out of their project, right?
Well, currently the way our resolution states is that BC line is all right of way that's going to be donated or designated right of way. That's the way the current county resolution states. It has, and that has no effect on where or how they're going to put their road into the project. This is so if the northern portions develop, then that right-of-way road is already there. And we can get on that later. Right now, we're focusing on that. Well, I guess that's still part of it, but yeah. So I guess I guess I'd like to address what we do with the 200,000. If at the end of this project's life, no development has happened, there is no road to go, the road to nowhere. What happens to that $200,000? I think it's only right that $200,000 gets returned back to the company that provided it.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee at the end of the 25 years, that may be an apple orchard. Once the solar panels are gone, we don't know when development, I understand development's coming, it's moving forward, but we don't know that agriculture may not be the leading industry again in 25 years when this development, if it goes through, is done. So all this road talk and all this money is kind of, I get it. It's a plan for a right of way, but boy, we're kind of leaning on some heavy speculation.
Sure. And go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to just, since I started a lot of this talk initially well before ZBA and all this went through the ZBA as evidence, I just would kind of rehash a couple of of items that got us to this point. The first of all is, when I started as a county engineer, one of the first things that was said to me was, please try to fix the access, especially for emergency services, to the specifically the homes in pink, or the locations in pink. There's one way in, one way out there. There has been more than one instance where there was an accident or fire or some type of response that prevented other emergency vehicles to get into that location. And so that was told to me, and the road commissioner that is responsible for those roads, the Belvedere Township Road Commissioner, has voiced those concerns. So that's the primary, one of the primary purposes. In addition to that, when those adjacent properties around the perimeter of the parcel that we were speaking of, those were all designed for access and continuity in here for those reasons. So this isn't necessarily to try to generate traffic or try to spur development or anything like that. It's primarily based on access for the safety of the residents out there. And that's one of my main priorities on all of the roads that we work on. So I just wanted to bring that up. And this is not any different than any other development. If, whether it's a solar development or residential, commercial development, typically the developer does provide the infrastructure, public infrastructure improvements right away, roadway work and all that. So this is, we're trying to treat this solar development as we would other developments in these situations. So, and then I did want to address one other thing that was mentioned on. And again, I'm an engineer, not an attorney, but I did look at the public statute, and there is one line in there, I think, that does apply very specifically to this project, is that a facility owner is to pay costs and fees or charges for road work that is specifically and uniquely attributed to the construction of a commercial solar energy facility. And so I think, this is without a question, that's the basis of exactly what my memo to the applicant prior to ZBA and was presented to ZBA. That's the basis of those reasons. So I just wanted to clear that up, that those are the reasons for trying to provide continuity.
Mr. Riley?
And I guess I'm glad you said that, Justin, because I'm looking at another hour and a half, 2 hours that we're going to be discussing this. And bottom line, the attorney told us that he hoped he doesn't see us again. And I personally don't have any issue seeing you, Jim. But if he's going to sue us for outside of what he is telling us, that is no more of a restriction or no more of a, I forget the word that you used, requirement or condition, we're going to get sued no matter what we do here. So I guess I'd like to hear maybe his thoughts on this reduction or whatever. So
first, I think with all due respect to Justin, and by the way, I joke around, we're good friends. I have no problems with Justin. I understand where he's coming from, but that misconstrues the statute. It says they have to be responsible for the roads directly attributable to the development. That's not future roads for some future development. So anyway, but to answer your question, I have not talked to my client about a reduction. Obviously, if the board passes it, they have to decide whether they're going to go through with it or not. I like the discussion about timeframes because, should you really tie up somebody else's money for 25 years? Can you reduce the time frame? Does the development have to come along within the next 10 years? There's other things to discuss here. I like the discussion. I think there's solutions to everything. I really do. But I haven't had a chance to talk to them about a reduction. We talked about it a little bit. Of course, nobody wants to hand over money to somebody else to hang on to, right? To put in their pocket. But if it's something that they could live with, you guys have to decide whether you want to go down that road. And if you do, they have to decide whether or not they can live with it. And if they don't, then maybe they don't do the project. But I think they're kind of set on the project. I think they've got everything in line with ComEd and everything else. So sometimes I make these arguments in other jurisdictions and, I have to say, well, they haven't really talked to ComEd. They don't have their interconnection. I think here, everything's lined up. So there is a timing issue, I guess is what I'm saying.
I could just make a comment. So the project is small. It's 16 acres, 1.6
Can you
megawatts.
pull that microphone down and speak into it so we can hear?
Yeah, the project itself it's small, you know, in the scale of things, 1.6 megawatts, 16 acres. And that point about the road, we're talking about the access road. That's the requirement within the statute. And so we would be limited to that, technically speaking. We also need to consider the landowner's rights as well. You know, he wants to keep this as ag, so that would be, you know, a tough negotiation to split up his land like into 3 separate parts. And lastly is the Boone County Development Plan is still intact. It's not going anywhere. You know, when a commercial development is going to be made, whether residential, Walmart, casino, whatever's going there, they're going to have to start working on roadways. They're going to have to design it and plan it out. And that's what they're going to end up doing. They're going to do all this connectivity when they do that. So it's going to happen if and when generations down the road, the landowner decides to sell that land, which right now he's saying no, and he's not ever going to do it. Right. But the development plan still stays intact. So that's the part that I'm kind of scratching my head at as to why this has to be done now for something that may or may not happen in the future, far down the road.
Again, just to be clear, we're not asking to build the road now.
Yeah, I understand.
This is for future development. And
I understand that.
If you develop your parcel here, I mean, you're a developer. It doesn't matter if it's a gas station, a Quick Trip, or if it's a solar farm.
But it does.
If you put a development in there, then there's nothing wrong with the county requiring you to build the infrastructure to build that project.
I'm going to go back to this. There's no nexus between keeping $200,000 for future road use for a development that doesn't require the road use. There's nobody coming and going. There's no retail. This is like asking a farmer to put a stop sign at the end of each row. Doesn't make any sense. There's no need for it. Not now.
Mr. Welty?
Just for clarification, is C on this exhibit, is that the only aspect that has to be built for this project? Is that the access for the 16 acres of solar panels?
I don't know if that's specific. I think, is it?
Well, it's thereabouts. It's a little further over to the east, but that's where it would come in. That's where the point of interconnection is. And it would be an access road that kind of does like an S shape where it goes over towards B, you know, where that little line is on B at the middle there. That's
the left line or the right line?
The left line.
So that is the area that has to be built for this project.
Yeah,
the access road, it would be
line down to underneath the B and the left. Correct.
Yeah, it starts out more towards the east and then it kind of does an S over to where B is.
The blue line is the access road. That's what they would build no matter what for their project.
Down to the left.
Yeah. Comes right down here.
It stops right there. That's it.
That's C, correct.
Hard to see. It's hard to see here, but.
Yeah, actually, I've got it here.
Oh, yeah, but that's the,
laser
one.
I was going to give it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Here's the laser pointer if you want.
Does that make it clear? Mr. Cordray?
Is there any way you could write it into the decommissioning plan?
I'm sorry?
Any way you could write this into the decommissioning plan? So at the end of the life, then we know, you know, a little better what you're going to do and what you would need.
As far as
way for the roadway?
I mean, you could.
If you're asking for the money, I mean, I'm just saying, instead of putting it up front, put it into the decommissioning plan at the end of it, when it would be feasible to be, that's when you would actually use it. If the development was there at that time.
Bond, like a bond.
Like a bond.
Mr. Wahlberg?
Not necessarily for that road could be built prior to decommissioning. And that's why when we had the original, it's called 1, 2, and 3 in our section 1, I believe it was section 3 that said be planned at the time of decommissioning. So we thought we would forego that because to the applicant's point that it may be a little bit unreasonable to expect you to pay for something that's never going to be built, right? Based on Mr. Cronin's conversations and his comments that I've made, there is a good chance that this property to the west could be developed, and we want to be good stewards for planning to allow that right of way. Now, 2 weeks ago, when we had this conversation and I asked you, I didn't make up the 500,000. It was a number that you had discussed prior to with our county engineer. So now we've come back and we've reduced that. So now I'm going to ask you another question tonight based on the feedback that your lawyer presented about timelines. We're very reasonable here. That's why you chose to do your project in Boone County, right? So we can all agree on that. What is a reasonable, fair timeline for you? What do you think that would be that expectation if it develops in X number of years? What would you say?
We don't expect it to ever be developed based on the comments of the landowner and his children. We don't expect that parcel or the adjacent parcel to ever be developed.
More specifically, what is a reasonable timeline if we were to escrow the 200,000 that I presented? Now, we need to vote on this motion. It has not passed, okay? But it's a reduction in your favor, going from 500,000 down to 200,000. What would be a reasonable timeline that you would be willing to have that money tied up, assuming that you have is it a 20-year or a 30-year contract on this solar?
The lease is 45 years.
45 years. Ongoing 45, not 20 years with 5-year renewable every 5 years.
It's 35 with 2 5-year options.
Okay, so 35. All right. So do you have a thought or do you want to discuss it or make a reasonable timeline with your lawyer?
I'm trying to understand the timeline. You're saying so we're not talking about a bond, we're talking about an actual escrow of $200,000.
Yep, that's the way the motion is stated here.
And earn interest for 35 years. Is that right?
Well, and that was your number for the project. I'm not saying it has to be that number. I'm saying what is a reasonable time frame that you'd be willing to do this.
I'd have to check with my peers at the company, but just thinking out loud, 15 years, around there, 10 or 15.
So if I could amend that motion that we would do the 200,000 for 15 years. That way it's not indefinite. Because let's face it, if they don't develop in the next 15 years, which I would be really surprised if they don't. But in the event that it does, or if it's longer than 15 years, most of this might not be.
Very true.
That may sound very unprofessional or insensitive, but I mean that in the sincerest way.
Is that an amendment to your motion?
Yeah, I would like to amend that to add a timeline. I think that's reasonable.
Of 15 years?
Of 15 years.
Mr. Chairman, a point of clarification.
Sure.
Would that include the aspect of the interest accruing to the benefit of company?
That was something I'd like to get more discussion from the board on. I
don't even like this at all. But if we're going to vote on this motion for the reduction, I would like the interest aspect.
Well, Mr. Wiltse, I'm going to stop you there. If we can, So we have a motion to amend on the table here. Is there a second to that motion to amend to put a 15-year timeline on the escrow money?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wiltsey. Okay. Mr. Wiltsey, did you want to?
I just, as this stands, I'm going to vote for this because I don't like $500,000. But I'd like to know where the interest goes. I may ultimately not vote for the situation at all. In my personal opinion, this project should not have the A thing in the right of way. It has nothing to do with the project. That's my personal opinion.
Can I get comment just to Mr. Porter's question? The decommissioning
You
plan,
gotta use your microphone.
sorry, the decommissioning plan wouldn't be able to add this unless it was by agreement of the parties, I believe. I think the parties could agree to do it, but we could not require them to add it at decommissioning.
Mr. Thornberry, you had your hand up a minute.
Yes, we're making this way too difficult. It's not that hard to figure out. CBA agreed with the people who didn't want the roads. The developer agreed with everybody that he would do whatever he wanted. If they didn't want the road, that was okay with him. They could do the access road. And I don't understand why we got this B in there at all. Because my understanding, this is all farmland right now. There is no roads there at all. So I don't understand where B comes from. It sounds to me like the county wants him to build a road that nobody needs but the county. And we're talking about what Winnebago's gonna do, when that is not our job. Our job is to either approve or disapprove what wants to be built. And everything has been considered, everybody has agreed on it, and the only ones that have a problem are the ones sitting in this room. I don't understand it. Everybody's agreed to everybody else's request except us. We're fighting a battle we have no business even being in. Everybody has already agreed.
Tim, can I call for the question?
Sure, Mr. Walker. Oh, did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay. Okay, so this is for the amendment to add 15 years to the original amended motion. So this, a yes vote would add a 15-year timeline on the escrow payment. All in favor of the 15-year escrow signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. So we have a 15-year limit on the escrow. On the 200,000 amount, any further discussion? Mr. Wiltsey.
I agree with Mr. Thornberry. I move that we return to the original ZBA plan and what was approved by the ZBA. And I so move.
No,
We haven't voted on that.
we haven't, we're on the amendment of the 200,000. Reducing.
No, just do that.
No, that was adding 15 years to that amendment of the original motion.
So you could.
Okay, so as chairman, I normally don't like to make a motion, but I think it's important that if this company puts up $200,000 in escrow and it's their money and no road gets built, I think the money should go back to the company. So I think that needs to be added into this to that the original investment and the interest garnered therefrom should go back to the company.
And the interest.
Their money. And I would
second.
I would move that. So we have a motion by myself and a second by Mr. Wiltsey that the 200,000 and the interest garnered from that would go back to the company at the end of the 15 years.
Okay.
Discussion, Mr. Riley.
All right. Do we have a line item for something like this? I mean, how would we?
The treasurer could make a separate account and put that in. That Kurt's used to playing with the computer and doing that.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, but yeah, it could be done to put, just like we have all kinds of different funds that could go in there, and it could be in a separate fund utilized for that specific purpose by ordinance or something like that. Any other discussion on that amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of that amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Now we'll go back to the original motion of the $200,000 amendment with the two amendments onto the 200,000. So it's 200,000 reduction from 500,000 to 200,000 with a 15-year limit. And after 15 years, the original 200,000 and any interest goes back to the company if no road is built. Discussion, questions? All in favor of that signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. So I'm gonna make myself a note and okay.
Mr. Chairman, now point of order.
Mr. Wiltsey.
Are we going to give the applicant time to digest this and come back to us with a yay or nay on whether to go for this or not? Or what are we gonna do? Because if we go for this tonight, I want to do what Mr. Thornberry was talking about. So we're at a juncture here. And that would be go back to the ZBA with no road requirements or escrows at all. So I just wonder if council wants to talk to his client and if he wants another meeting to go by where we can look at this new proposed ordinance with the reductions and what we just added about the interest and the time frame of the years, or are we going to go all the way to vote on this tonight?
So that's more a question for the state's attorney, because as you know, by statute, we have X amount of days after ZBA passes or has a hearing to vote yea or nay on a project. So
It would only have to, it can only be continued by the applicants agreeing to it, unless the board, I guess, could send it back to the ZBA for more evidence, but I don't know if that's really appropriate in this case. Because it's not, no one's asking to open up for additional evidence. Otherwise, I think that's the only reason that the board could send it back. So I think the parties would, or the applicant would have to agree.
Okay.
It always take like.
Sure. We could take a recess if you wanted to talk with your counsel and discuss a little bit, or make a phone call, or.
I can try to do that, yes. I'm just curious, Mr. Thornberry, Mr. Wiltsey's objections or proposal of a motion to go with the ZBA's findings, is that, will there be a vote on that? Will you be able
Just made a motion.
Oh, I see.
So there's discussion, but there's no motion. I would like to clear a little something up here. I will make a motion that we eliminate B, the right of way for B on this project, so that B's no longer part of it. Should, I'm in full agreement that should a developer come. I'm sorry.
If that is the case, maybe you would just remove 3, condition 3. Do you have that in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me.
I'll give it to you guys.
Too many screens to open.
Yeah, this is what the ordinance. That condition 3 is specific to labeled B, so that might be more simple.
Yeah, so that would eliminate condition 3.
Section. Paragraph 3.
Yeah, item 3 under section 1.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd move to eliminate that.
To delete that?
Yes, to delete that.
I would second that.
So motion in a second. Discussion on that motion in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Okay. Mr. Thornberry, did you have your hand raised?
I would like to make a motion that we accept the ZBA's the way the ZBA, the people in the audience and the developer agreed on at our last meeting. We all agreed that without these roads, with the exception of the excess road, that the project either go through or be denied. So I guess my motion is to vote on it.
To what?
So you're, to clarify, so your motion is to return to the ZBA's original recommendations?
And remove 1 and 2 here.
Well, that's what that would do, correct?
Correct. I'm just.
Yeah, so,
Making.
so by returning to, the ZBA's original, that would remove the, cash and escrow, which is now at 200,000 with a 15-year time limit. And to remove, item 2, which is basically Road A, or the right of way for Road A. So just to clarify, so that's what that is, basically. That's what
You've already voted on the 200,000 for A.
But if your motion is to go back to the ZBA's recommendation, that eliminates Road A, which is item 2.
And the escrow.
Under our ordinance. And item 1 is the cash in escrow. That's what you're trying to do, correct?
Go back to the ZBA.
That's what that does, going to the ZBA. So just clarifying for the record. Mr. Riley, did you have?
It is redundant.
No, it's just a parliamentary way to get back to where you want to be, Mr. Thornberry, where I want to be, and that is the ZBA approved text. If that fails, then we're back to this where it is with a couple of deletions and a couple of changes. I second Mr. Thornberry's box.
Yes, that's what I want.
So that's a motion and a second by Mr. Thornberry, seconded by Mr. Wiltsey. Discussion, Mr. Wahlberg.
Thank you, Chairman. This would be very poor planning based on all the information that we've heard from Mr. Crone, our county engineer, and the future of these projects. I mean, part of planning is planning for the future, right? That's the purpose, I should say, of planning. And I think we would be really short-sighting the people of Boone County, the residents, if we were to do this. Now, I understand residents there not wanting the road. That's why we have removed, we voted to remove number 3, which was B. I'm okay with that. Obviously, that condition was that road was never going to be built until decommissioning of the solar farm. Because obviously, the purpose of that was where the applicant originally put the road, it was a bad design. It was too close to the neighbors. It was too close. Nobody wants a road 10 feet off the property. That was ridiculous. And that's why we created this caveat here to make it feasible for the neighbors, and not just the neighbors today, but the neighbors of the future. Because obviously it's, as you stated, it's at least 35 years before you're going to decommission this project. So therefore, that road would never be built for 35 years. So we're taking that out, trying to accommodate here and make this all work for everybody. But I do not want to retroact back to the ZBAs. That's why we've gone down this path, is to make sure that we have good planning for the future growth in Boone County. And as I mentioned earlier, yes, we represent Boone County. Mr. Thornberry, very good point. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. But on the same token, we did just adopt a resolution to work with our neighboring counties, and so I think it's only perspective to put that perspective that's the right thing to do in the event that that area surely looks like it could develop, and as we stated, in the next 15 years. If it doesn't, everybody wins. It's fine. They can build an apple orchard. They can build an apple orchard or whatever agricultural means that they want to use it for. So that is my thoughts on that.
Mr. Shoemaker.
I would have to say I agree with Mr. Wahlberg. It's important for us to think about the future when this development's coming. I think we can make an agreement with the company and the applicant. I think we should probably go down that road instead. So I'll vote no for the motion to go back to ZBA.
Mr. Thornberry.
All right, everybody's talking about the future here. The applicant, or I should say, the property, and his children both testified at ZBA that this land was never, ever going to be anything except agriculture. And that would put, based on the ages of the people that were at that meeting, that would put this well past the expiration date of the 45 years. Unless somebody runs over with a car. So the agreement has already been made with our county. The county doesn't own that property, he does. Even in Winnebago, he owns that property. And he owns the property that we're talking about in Boone County. So we already have an agreement. There's nothing going to be built there as long as he's got relatives alive. So I don't understand why we're talking about people wanting something that they don't want to pay for. They want them to pay for it. Our job is to take care of what we've been asked to take care of. And the future doesn't exist because the owner has already said the future of that property is going to be agriculture. He's willing to lease it to solar farm, but he intends to farm the rest of it, according to what he said at ZBA. So I don't understand the problem here. Give these people what they want. Quit trying to throw roadblocks in the way. That's not our job. Our job is to either approve or disapprove, and everybody's in agreement except us. I don't understand the problem here.
All right. Last thing, Mr. Thornberry.
Last thing, yes.
Or Mr. Wahlberg, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I guess before we vote on this, could we hear from the county engineer one more time? Works very closely with Belvedere Township and have just a little bit more assessment on his property going forward.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. I agree. We may not have a problem this second, but once there's another fire there and emergency services can't get to those homes, then that's when the problem occurs. And that could happen one day, 1 year, 10 years down the road. So my position is always to provide mobility and access to the county, to the residents in Boone County. And so that's emergency response, that's life-saving measures, fire response, everything. So that is the underlying motive of me bringing this forward to provide that access. Typically, when we have a developer develop a site, they do pay for it. It's not the taxpayers, it's the developer that pays for it. That's a standing practice through Boone County and through the region and the state of Illinois. So those are important considerations to keep in mind. Again, too, if I keep hearing that the applicant, I should say the owner, the underlying owner is not going to develop this, which is great. From what I'm hearing tonight, if they never develop it, the road never gets built. That's fine. I do want to protect us, though, protect the county and the residents for if things do develop, that we do have this, let's say this solar project lasts 35 to 45 years. Things get developed to the west, and our residents don't have the access that was previously designed in their subdivision when their subdivisions were built. To the north, there is a stubbed right of way, and so by me with this development coming forward, if I don't plan for that stubbed right of way to the north, if I'm not planning for that, I'm not doing my job. So that's why I brought it forward tonight. So,
Mr. Wiltsey, last word.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you, Justin. But we're basically saying here, let's say, for example, in 20 years, maybe there's a change in the owner's family's mind. If there's an emergency access situation, it's today, and it'll go on for that 20 years. We can't be, I don't think we can be judging. I understand what Justin's saying, that if there's a problem right now, there may be a problem like for the next 45 years. This is not our solution to fix this. There has to be something else done. If there's a true emergency access problem to these subdivisions, and I'm just, I don't agree with that line of reasoning. I understand what he's saying, but even in the short term, 15 years, 20 years, it's not going to do anything. So this safety factor issue, if it exists, it's going to exist for that time, maybe longer.
Mr. Hirsch, you look like you've got.
Quick comment. These subdivisions wouldn't have been built the way they were built without the input of fire districts and police forces and road commissioners and everything else. That's part of the planning process. So to try and pass that off now on a developer that's not going to use them again, there's just not enough of a nexus. And nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. I agree with Mr. Wiltse's comments there. And I think you've got a pretty darn good pledge from the property owner that nothing's going to change.
All right. Back to the motion that's on the table, to return to the ZBA's recommendations, which eliminates the cash contribution and item 2 and item 3. We've already eliminated item 3. A yes vote would return to the ZBA's recommendations. Let's do a roll call just to make it easy.
Sure.
Please.
Alyssa Patterson.
Can I please get clarification with everybody going back and forth of the motion?
Sure. The motion is to return to the ZBA's original recommendation. And that recommendation would be no right-of-way roads, no cash in escrow.
Got it. Okay.
That's
My vote,
basically it.
I got it. My vote is no.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Tom Walberg,
No.
Ronnie Riley,
No.
Dana Logston,
No.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
No.
Josh Shoemaker,
No.
David Cordray,
No.
Ryan Schneider,
No.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Motion fails. So we are back to the amended motion of 200,000, 15 years. And no number 3. Further discussion on this. I offered earlier if the applicant wanted to take a 5-minute recess, could discuss with counsel, or maybe if you need to make a phone call, talk to somebody or whatever.
Get that, I'll give it
So I can
my
do
best
that?
shot. I'll do that. I'll try that.
Okay, take a 5-minute recess, 5-6 minutes, something like that, and be back here shortly. Thank you. Aaron, can you tell Tricia we want to try and get started? Is she back there?
Yeah.
No, back there.
Pizza ain't looking good.
Think of this personal thoughts.
I appreciate your patience.
It's business, man. It's business. So
Take it on.
Chairman, we're gonna have just a couple more minutes.
Sure.
Got a couple clarifications.
Sure.
Yeah.
did we pay for the community?
Yeah.
Folks, we're gonna skip ahead. We still got that on the docket here, but we're gonna skip ahead and run through finance quick. So, Mr. Wahlberg.
Right.
Oh, fine.
Guys are putting into my time now. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Actually, I was back there longer than I probably needed to be, Mr. Chairman.
Hold on a second here.
Do we get to bill that to you?
No, Reno's.
Yeah, we know how these lawyers are, you know. We got.
Easy.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
not sure that's what they're gonna do, but just so.
okay, so
I
we
wanted to
can,
make sure.
okay, all right.
That's a good one. The shoes on the
All right,
other.
Mr. Hirsch?
I keep waiting for Carl to hit the button and I'm gonna go right up this thing.
Oh, if I only could.
You never know.
I have good news.
Okay,
They've agreed to the 200,000 in 15 years. They get it back. It's got to be in an interest-bearing account. They get the interest back as well. How's that?
That's what we
That's what we said it was gonna be.
sounds perfect.
All right?
Or a bond.
Or a bond, whatever you guys would prefer, but they prefer the bond, obviously.
Right.
So it's there, but
Okay. Okay,
It'd be my opinion to do cash, just
Talk that,
dealing with bond companies and trying to make sure that we can
but they go,
jump through the hoops to get that bond. Sometimes it's problematic.
okay,
If we have it in the account here, then that just causes less issues. Would be
okay.
my opinion.
So let me just make sure I have this clarified correctly. Basically, you've agreed to what we've set forth so far, and we'd be good to go. Okay? Is there any further discussion from the board on this? Questions for the applicant or the council?
And I should just say, that's my recommendation. The board is free to vote to do a bond as well.
You know, we probably need to clarify that, don't we? Well, right now it says cash in it.
It does.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Nothing else? Going once, going twice, roll call, please.
Just make it clear, this is
Yeah,
not
wait a
the
minute, all
entire
right.
project.
Yes, all right, let me clarify that, yes. So a yes vote would approve the entire project, excuse me, on this parcel. $200,000 cash in escrow in an interest-bearing account with a 15-year time limit, that if no development and to the property to the west where the road is needed to be built,
in that 15 years.
within that 15 years, then the original 200,000 plus any interest garnered from that interest-bearing account goes back to the applicant. What am I missing? And that's it, right?
Back to the county.
To the applicant.
Yeah.
Company. Yeah. So, all right, we're good? Yes, Justin?
Did you address right away A then? Is that in there as well?
Yeah, I think right away A is included in this still, right? That's number two, correct? Yeah,
Which was already done.
yeah. So that, and
Jessica has something to add.
Jessica, go ahead.
My question is the third condition removed?
Yes.
Yeah, we already
I
removed.
wanted to complete, I just wanted to clarify
Yes,
that for
we've already removed the third
3 and B
condition.
moved still.
So a yes, 200,000, 15-year limit, interest-bearing account, money goes back to the applicant. right of way for A, and that 200,000 would be used to build Road A should development occur within that 15-year time period. Otherwise, the money goes back to the applicant. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Tom Walberg,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Same.
Dana Logston,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Cordray,
Yes.
Brian Schneider,
No.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Sorry for the length, but appreciate your time.
Well, thank you all very much.
Good luck on your project. Mr. Wahlberg, Finance.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. 11.1, I move to approve claims in the amount of $1,536,098.94 with the understanding that Carl Johnson abstains from voting on all claims presented by William Charles, Northern Illinois Service Company, Warren, Maine, and all claims submitted by the Boone County Highway Department and all claims submitted by any county department regarding huge stormwater construction and excavating.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Discussion. Becky.
The reason for the expenses being so large are your construction costs. You're going to start to see these bills from your contractors getting larger. One of those is a $903,000 to Scandrolli for the courthouse, and there's another $229 to Ringland for McKinley this time.
You planted the money tree, right? All right, roll call, please.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Dana Logston,
Yes.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker, David Cordray,
Yes.
Brian Schneider,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Brian Curry, oh, sorry. Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Wahlberg.
11.2. Motion to approve the county board audio system upgrades and additions from audio engineering in the amount of $10,750.
Major motion.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg, seconded by Mr. Riley. Nobody's happier about that than Mr. Schneider. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Dana Logston,
Absolutely.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Cordray,
Yes.
Brian Schneider,
Yes, I'm happy.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Wahlberg.
11.3, motion to approve credit card for Ella Mayor probation.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Special committee reports, community building. Mr. Loxton, do you have anything?
I don't have anything fun this week. It was pretty much business as usual. Maybe more to report next month.
And four? UCCI. Becky, anything?
Go ahead.
Well, we just returned from Washington DC. I was out there with Ms. Tolman and Mr. Riley. It was very educational this week. very informative. We had a very good meeting with Darren LaHood yesterday on the floor, and he was proceeding, I guess, of the Ways and Means Committee going on, and so we got to see everything live action. So that was kind of a good, neat experience, a nice experience. But anyway, we presented our one of our ideas, our projects that's been on the schedule for the last couple of years for offsetting some of the expenses or some of the additional expenses that may come down the road with the transportation building. So we had got that opportunity to present that as well. And then this morning, I had coffee with Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth, and it was a good experience. Different than what I was expecting in terms of it was a largely bigger group than what I was expecting. I guess what I mean by that. So it was a lot of different interest groups there, and it was good to see that. As they say, how the sausage is made. So.
Thank you. Rodney, anything to add?
It was absolutely excellent trip. A lot of sightseeing, a lot of interesting things to see out there, and definitely meeting with Congressman LaHood was an experience. I actually got to meet with him twice, and just discussed a lot of issues and things that are going on in Boone County, and I think we've got his support, obviously, and other than the fact that he doesn't represent the city of Belvedere, just good things coming, I think. So hopefully things keep moving in the right direction.
Perfect. Becky, anything? Go ahead.
Just went there was 21 counties represented and 40 of us were there from Illinois. So it was a good group.
A lot of walking. If anybody else ever goes, take good shoes.
All right, Community Action Agency, we hope to have a representative for that soon. 911, Mr. Ogano's not here. Nobody for Land Bank, correct? Scheduling of committees. For October, right?
Yeah.
So the admin committee will meet October 2nd, 6 p.m. in this room. And then we would also like to have a special county board meeting at 5:40. Well, we'll make the special county board meeting right before that. On October 2nd in this room. So at 6 p.m. in this room. And that purpose of that meeting will be to appoint county clerk. Mr. Wahlberg.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. As a whole finance committee will be October 9th. In this room at 6 p.m.
And regular county board meeting will be October 16th, 6:30 p.m. in this room. Becky?
At admin, I was going to put on the agenda whether you wanted to move county board to the 23rd, remember, and then have the finance budget meeting on the 16th rather than the other way around. Remember how we talked about possibly? Yeah. We can put that on the agenda.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Okay.
The county board of the 23rd?
We'll talk about that at the admin meeting.
Okay.
All right, any executive?
I have the room here.
No.
I'm sorry, no, you have, sorry. We have to, for real estate,
All right,
sale of real estate.
all right, so I need a motion to go into executive session for sale of real estate. Motion by Mr. Wahlberg, seconded by Mr. Thornberry. Roll call, please.
Ronnie Riley,
Yes.
Anna Logston,
Yes.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Scott Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Corey,
Yes.
Brian Schneider,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Yes.
Melissa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion carries. We are an exec.